I almost bought my way into a life I didn't want. I used to think moving would fix us. Like a fresh set of walls could somehow erase everything we'd broken between us. I stood in that empty flat, holding the keys we weren't supposed to have yet, staring at rooms that already felt like a lie. We hadn't even signed yet, but I knew. Deep down, I knew I was making the biggest mistake of my life. I knew the flat wasn't going to save us. I knew no bigger kitchen, no extra space, no perfect postcode would change the way we fought, or the way I flinched when she started. But I kept standing there, pretending to dream about paint colors and dinner parties, while my heart sank deeper into my stomach. I almost signed anyway. I almost pretended long enough to make it real. I tried to tell her I wasn't sure. Just once. Just barely loud enough to be heard. And it was like I'd lit a match in a gas-soaked room. The way she turned on me, the way her voice dropped low, like she was holding back something even worse. I'd heard those words before, but somehow they still hit like the first time. Weak. Useless. Embarrassing. She said I'd wasted her time, wasted her life, that I never deserved her in the first place. I didn't even fight back. I stood there, staring at the floor, counting the seconds until it was over. And when she left the room, when the door slammed hard enough to shake the frame, I realized I wasn't afraid of losing her. I was afraid of staying. But I didn't leave. Not right away. We went back for a second viewing. Walked through those empty rooms again like nothing had happened. She talked about tile colors and furniture placement like we hadn't torn each other apart a week earlier. I let myself believe maybe we'd be different this time. I knew better. But knowing and leaving aren't the same thing. I nodded. I smiled. I played the part. Because walking away felt bigger than I could handle. And deep down I still hoped. Hoped the space would soften us. Hoped the fight was the last one. Hoped I wasn't lying to both of us again. It wasn't a big moment. It never is. It was just one more small cutting comment. One more eye rolled out how I always picked the wrong thing. And I just stood there. Still. Quiet. But inside, something cracked, wide open. I could see it so clearly. Years of tiny cuts just like this one. Years of walking on eggshells. Years of losing myself piece by piece while calling it love. I didn't want to fight anymore. I didn't want to spend the next 30 years becoming smaller just to keep someone else comfortable. I didn't want the flat. I didn't want this life. I wanted out. I didn't sleep that night. I lay there rehearsing the words, terrified of what they'd cost. When the sun came up, I knew the truth wasn't optional anymore. I told her. Finally. Everything I'd swallowed for months. I told her I couldn't do it. Not the flat. Not us. Not anymore. She didn't cry. She didn't beg. She just got cold. Like I was nothing. Like I was the villain. Maybe I was. Maybe I am. But I still walked away. I packed my bags. I left the keys on the